Hello, this is Ask Dr. Ben. I'm Dr. Ben Newman. I study coronaviruses and I'm going to try to answer your questions. Let's see. The next question is from, let me move it down here, Susan. All right, how you doing, Susan? Let's see. All right, so hi, Dr. Ben. Now that our Texas governor has made the tragic decision, yeah, I know, to end the mask mandate and completely open up the state, I know. Um, I'm researching additional measures to take to stay safe. I like that. Yeah. The measures I'm going to be taking are just adjusting my risk budget. So there's this idea that you can tolerate a certain amount of risk in a day, whether that's like one little thing once a week, or or like a medium-sized thing once a week, or a little tiny thing every day that you just have to do, and you want to make sure that you're not doing a bunch of risky things. And right now, I'm just increasing the risk of all of the activities that I've been doing, and trying to be a little more vigilant and not take some of the chances that I was taking. So anyway, your results and method will probably vary, but they need to because your life is different from mine. So yeah, fine. Anyway, that's not what you're asking. What do you know about the claims of Halodine, both in oral and nasal drop form? Yeah. So the answer was I did not know, and so I've spent the last 10 minutes looking at this, and now I think I've got a decent idea. So Halodine is a thing called povidone iodine, or iodine. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. We're not in Britain. And this is a thing you can squirt up your nose. It is, I don't know, have you been to the doctor? You know that orangey brown stuff that they'll paint on a wound? The sort of iodine? It's that stuff. Same stuff. And what that is a topical disinfectant. It basically destroys bacteria, and it would also destroy viruses. The way it works is that the main molecule, which I think is a polyvinyl pyrrolidine molecule, so it's like twisted like a big helix, yeah, biology term. And all along the helix, you've got these little spots where you can dock lots of little iodine atoms on there. And what this does is it just acts like a sponge that's got a lot of iodine on it, and then the sponge goes onto the spot, and the iodine will then diffuse away. It's this free iodine that seems to be the active component, and it works kind of like hydrogen peroxide or bleach or whatever. It is going to oxidize whatever it runs into, basically break up some chemical bonds. And so if you put it on something that's got bacteria on it, yeah, it's going to murder the bacteria for the most part. Put it on something with viruses, it'll just physically degrade those to the point where they don't work anymore. Put it on human cells, and thank goodness we are all dead on the outside. We have this layer of dead cells even inside the nose. And so you're putting it on there, and I think if it were to go onto living cells, you would see some sort of like low-grade poisoning. It probably hits bacteria a little harder than our cells. Our cells would have maybe ways to deal with this, or at least come back from the from the side effects. But since those cells, as they get closer to the surface of your nose and throat and lungs, they get real compacted and flat and are either dead or almost as good as dead. There's really not that big a deal, and you can poison them at will, and it doesn't do much. It says in the little bit that I've read that this is sometimes sensitizing, which means you put it in and it's fine at first, but then you keep putting it in, and over time it'll be like you have a reaction to it, almost like an allergic reaction that would develop. Would I do that as a thing to prevent COVID? I don't know. It might work a little bit, but I just feel like you are flooding your nose with iodine way more than you ever would in a normal situation. And it might work, but I would think the side effects would maybe be not worth the positive effects of destroying virus that's in there. That would be my guess. But I don't know. We'd have to look up some papers on that. I know it is in a clinical trial. It's called a phase 4, which means phase 3 was approved for some other use, and now they are trying to see whether it can be used for this use against SARS coronavirus 2 in people who have COVID-19. And I suspect it's going to be unless they are doing the clinical study and looking to see whether they can prevent infection from starting, I don't see how that would have much effect on progression of disease. I bet that's just going to be, something that works in a test tube and doesn't really work very well in a nose or a person. But this is just intuition and hunch. This is not science yet at this point. And so, just like everybody else, we got to wait till the results come in. And then, if they look interesting, I'll bring them to you for sure. So there we go. That's what Halodine is. Halodine, yeah. No, I don't think I would use it. I think I would definitely wear a mask, definitely wear the mask nice and tight right across there. And that's actually pretty good. The masks are the one thing that works best. And if you want to, you can put the second one on, but it's really the critical part, I think, is in getting that good seal around the first mask that you've got on. So there's no gaps right here is a common spot. And also so that when you move your mouth and are doing talking or whatever, you want to make sure that you're not getting too many gaps down here or here, the parts that are sort of changing shape. So it's got to have nice springy elastic in it. And if you're short on masks, a lot of public buildings just have them by the door now, which is very nice. So when one of mine is worn out, I'll sometimes just grab one on the way into work. Yeah, your mileage may vary, but you don't necessarily have to buy masks anymore, which is good. Just got to go to the right places. So there we go. That's a good question, and I had not heard about that, and I've learned something today, and I like that. I like that when you guys make me learn something. So thanks very much. This was Ask Dr. Ben.